So I do want to say, Dave Umphris, I could not be more excited to have this conversation with you because we've talked about this a lot, and I know the story. I know, a lot of the things I'm going to ask you today, but folks out there do not know, and I think it's very important that that what we're going to discuss gets out into the ears for a lot of people to hear. Okay, because I think there's people out there that once they hear what we're going to discuss today, they're going to feel a connection with that. So that's the kind of what I want to do. All right.
Love it.
So let's
Well,
just
it's an
let's
honor to hang out with you.
let's just jump in. I want to just dive right into it. So I have a few questions for you. So the first one thing I want to know is I just want to hear your story. So what is Flourish Collective? How did it start? What did this birth in your heart, and what's it supposed to be doing?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think first and foremost, it's important to know that the story is told through the lens or through the interpretation of somebody that follows Jesus. If that's not you, then you're going to have to interpret, And so some of the stuff I'll talk about is kind of tinted towards that. So you can kind of interpret it to whatever your worldview is for you. But my wife and I came from a nonprofit background. And so this whole idea of like, running businesses that fund causes you care about, like that's something that's been a part of our lives for what, probably 18, 19, coming up on 20 years. So when I got into real estate, which was in 2012, that had already kind of created sort of like the way I looked at real estate, right? So I saw a Craigslist ad, responded to it for a career night, showed up at this thing, something I really didn't want to go to. I almost chickened out. And so a lot of my story will just be 13 years of saying yes to just the most random things, just saying yes over and over again to something that maybe other people would say no to, or maybe that I almost said no to, and then cool things happen. So I show up at this career night, end up joining this guy's team, and that's kind of how I got into real estate. But fast forward, I early on there was an organization that did a lot of cool work and water projects in Africa and HIV/AIDS work, and so we got connected with them really early on in the industry, and so said yes to lots of opportunities with them that were kind of out of the box. And so at one point, that led to us, adopting some communities in sub-Saharan Africa and partnering with, every time somebody bought or sold a house, the portion would go to these communities. And one thing led to another, and I ended up on some trips to Africa to spend some time with these communities. Okay, so that's sort of like fast forwarding through probably 5, 6, 7 years in this industry. But the point of this, the story I'm getting to is I'm on this hike in northern Ethiopia. So if you're a follower of Jesus, you've probably heard about the Ark of the Covenant, or if you've seen Indiana Jones, the Ark of the Covenant. This is like up in outside of Axum, which is where a lot of people think the Ark of the Covenant is today, where Queen Sheba, ended up going back to. And and so we're on this hike. I mean, there's not a national park in the country that would allow this hike in the United States. It was the craziest, most death-defying hike. But at the top of this hike, there's these caves with these Ethiopian church inside the cave, and like murals on the ceiling, like Sistine Chapel style all over the ceiling, and like just the craziest thing. Scripture from 15, 16, 1700 years ago. I mean, this stuff should be in the Smithsonian. Like the fact that it's just laying there in this cave that you can page through, and like crazy pictures and stuff. Anyways, so I'm on this hike, and these two women I'm with are walking in front of me talking, and another story about them another time, but just two incredible women that have been just awesome partners in this whole journey. But one of them is telling the other one about something called the Denver Institute for Faith and Work. And I hear that phrase and I'm just like, something clicks in my head. I'm like, what is this thing? Tell me about this thing. And so I interrupt them and I'm like, Lori, tell me about the Denver Institute for Faith and Work. And she's like, oh, let me connect you. You'd love it too. And it started just this long journey of just asking this question of what does it mean to connect my faith and my work? Like, how do these two collide in the way I look at business and the way I look at my community and all these things? And so one thing led to another. I said yes to a year-long fellowship that they have where you just dive into that topic for a year. And so we're on this journey for a year, and it starts with a weekend retreat. So you get all these young professionals and adults, mid-career people coming together for this retreat, staying in bunk beds. It's just the craziest thing. Like all of us are, we're like married with kids, and there's like 7 or 8 of us in this tiny little room in bunk beds. And so for this weekend, though, we start diving into this topic. And the guy that's running it, his name's Brian. I love this guy, just a great mentor. And he says a couple things that night that completely changed my life. And that's what I'm getting to, the whole point of this story. He reads a portion in scripture from the book of Jeremiah where the Israelites have just been carried off into captivity and they're in Babylon and they think they're going to be there for like a couple of weeks. Okay. And God's like, you guys got to settle in. Like, you're going to be here for a while. Ended up being 70 years that they were there. And he said, I want you to build houses and I want you to settle down. I want you to plant gardens and eat what they produce. I want you to marry and have kids. And I want you to seek the peace and prosperity of the city for which I've carried you into exile. Or I want you to seek the flourishing of the city for which I've carried you off into exile. And I want you to pray for it. I want you to seek its peace, its prosperity, because when it flourishes, you too will flourish. And there was my life before that verse, and there was my life after that verse, or those couple verses. That just wrecked me. And the follow-up that Brian asked was, where do you see brokenness in your community, and what do you feel like you're being asked to do about it? And also the same with your industry. Where do you see brokenness in your industry? And that question just haunted me for a couple of days. And I sat down with my ops director and we talked through it afterwards. And the reality we came to was that we had been spending years addressing brokenness around the world and jumping on airplanes and going and taking videos and pictures and posting them on social media and ignoring a lot of brokenness in our backyard. And so we came home and we just scrapped it all and we started over. We changed the name of our company, we changed the mission of the company, and we came up with this idea that we were going to create a company that was dedicated to one thing, to seeking the flourishing of our community. And as we continued to grow and have other partners join us, it became, how do we seek the flourishing of any community that we operate in? And so that probably starts to get a little too deep down the story, but like that just completely changed the trajectory of who we are and where we're going. And that is what we've launched off of in 2019 or so is kind of when we started that piece of the journey. So,
all right. So yeah, that's actually incredible. And there was actually a few details in that you just told that I actually did not know. So I'm actually glad we're having this talk again because that was, so anyway, so that was 2019.
Yeah.
So what's happened since then?
Yeah, so one of the, at that point we would partner with other nonprofits, and we kind of had this realization that if we really want to multiply our impact, we kind of need to launch our own internal 501c3 that allows us to raise funds for the things we care about. For a lot of reasons, it made more sense. And so we launched, took a couple of years, but we launched our own internal nonprofit called Flourish Alliance, which seeks to remove barriers to flourishing in the community. So the 5 main things we focus on are food insecurity, homelessness, affordable housing, human trafficking, and general health disparities, which is broad, but that also encompasses the work that we were already doing in Africa. So we've continued, if not increased, with that. So, and as a result, we've kind of evolved away from the real estate team model into a network of agents and teams that are passionate about the same things we're passionate about. And what that's allowed is for us to attract just a completely different caliber of talent. We're not attracting, we still do help new agents that are launching in their career, and that's great. But most of the time, the type of agent that's interested in being a partner with Flourish is someone that's experienced decades in the industry, loves their work, loves their clients, and just desires to connect with us to increase their business, of course, as part of it, but also just increase their impact and multiply their impact through the economies of scale. We can all do so much more. We can give better service to our clients. We can multiply our impact with the community, with our things we're already passionate about. Most of the time when a partner comes to us, there's already causes that they're involved in locally that we can come behind and get excited about with them, which is super exciting. So that's been one piece, is just attracting just the best people. There's about 50 of us spread around 4 states right now. And man, if you could just meet, I know you have met a lot of these people, but if anybody watching this could just meet the people that I'm talking about, it's like the best of the best in this industry in terms of serving their clients, but also serving their community, and just the hearts of gold, just awesome partners. But, and then just in that, just develop this passion for inspiring other business owners to connect their business to things they're passionate about. Maybe it's with us, maybe it's not with us, but seeing people come alive because their business motivates them to make whatever impact that they care about locally. And that impact gets them out of bed in the morning, gets their partners out of bed in the morning, causes people to want to run through a brick wall with them. Like, that's a passion of mine now. So seeing people tie their business to some sort of thing they care about has kind of become a pet project of mine. So.
Yeah, so it sounds like, the avatar, as we say, for the type of person that would be a good partner is someone that does have a business that's in some degree thriving, and they have a passion to make an impact through their business as it were a ministry to somebody else to help benefit them. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that has that kind of a mindset and is looking to, really expand and grow and learn different ways to leverage their business to give back to causes that really matter to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think the first thing, a couple things come to mind. I think the first thing that comes to mind is just to ask that question that I shared a few minutes ago, just like, where do you see brokenness?
Mm.
I mean, everybody, there's something inside that just bothers them, that they just think about some sort of injustice, and it just hurts them, just hurts their heart to think about. So I'd say start by asking that. It's like, where do I see brokenness in my industry or in my community, and what do I feel like I'm being asked to do about it? John Maxwell has a couple of helpful questions around this topic. He says, what makes you cry? What makes you dance? What makes you sing? Just like these questions to sit with of like, what is it that really, for whatever reason, just gets my heart going? And, I think everybody has those. It's just most people don't pause to think about what they could do about it or if they are being asked to do something about it. But I would encourage people just to sit with that in those couple of questions and maybe get away for a day or a half day and just ask yourself, ask God, ask the universe, I mean, whoever you talk to. I mean, to ask somebody like, what is it that gets me going? I think another question kind of along that same strain though would be, have I been uniquely gifted in something? Like, is there something that I've been made especially unique or different in that would set me apart and cause me to maybe have a different level of skill or gift? I mean, nothing happens on accident. Whatever experience you've been given, like you were probably given that experience to prepare you for something, for some sort of opportunity, or to be able to connect with somebody that maybe others can't or whatever. So I think that's a good question. I would say yes, just over and over again. Just keep saying yes to opportunities, to events, to that trip that you don't think you should take, to that opportunity to serve. Or I mean, it's amazing how many things in my story have happened just because I said yes to things that other people would probably say no to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times those opportunities they're not even necessarily for what's going to happen. It's to prepare you or to move you to something else. My wife and I came to Denver kicking and screaming, convinced that we were not staying here any longer than we had to. We were on a plane to Africa. We were moving to Africa with an organization we were working with, and we thought we were going to be there the rest of our lives. We only came to Denver because they made us to work on our fundraising because we were 22 years old and living on donor support. But the reason we came to Denver, like that's what got us here. And then it became really evident that like this is the city that we have been carried off into exile. So I guess we're here for 70 years. Let's see. My last piece of advice. I mean, I think a lot of people oftentimes feel this pull, like they want to be a part of something bigger and more impactful, and they don't maybe necessarily know what that is, or it might seem kind of daunting to do that. And oftentimes the right answer for them is coming alongside something else. It's connecting with somebody else that's doing something that gets them excited that they want to help make happen. Not everybody is called to necessarily create the thing that they're passionate about. Like oftentimes we see other people doing something that we say, man, I want to help make that happen. I want to run through that brick wall with you. And I think for a lot of people, that just looks like looking around and asking, is there something going on that I get so excited about that I want to also help make sure, that it happens. So.
Right on. So tell me, what's Flourish Collective doing now?
Yeah, so we're in exciting growth mode right now. So like I said, there's about 50 of us spread around 4 states right now, and it's a fun season of just telling the story. And so sometimes when we tell the story of like who we are and where we're going, somebody says, I want in, like I want to be a part of that. And there's just something exciting about seeing change happen, about being involved in impacting communities and lives. Those are kind of our core kind of tenets, is that we're passionate about flourishing communities, flourishing careers, and flourishing lives. Like if we can help somebody build a flourishing career that is just way bigger and better and more impactful and more leveraged and more quality of life and time with your kids and time with your family and vision about where you're going, all the things that we would encompass into a flourishing life. And for some people, it's that trip, or it's that car, or it's that, for some people, it's being done with work at 2 p.m. so they can go pick their kids up from school, or, go to field trips in the middle of the day. Everybody's version of a flourishing life is different. But we want to help make it, we want to help every partner we have live their flourishing life. We want to help impact communities in a way that we would say we are causing them to flourish with those 5 core tenets and then some other one-offs that we get involved in. And then any life we impact, we want to help make sure that that is a flourishing life. I mean, sometimes that looks like, right outside our door. I mean, there's no matter where you go, there's people experiencing homelessness. Sometimes that means just bringing a cup of coffee to somebody. and telling them you hope they have a good day and that you see them and that you care about them. Like helping somebody have a flourishing life is so broad. But anybody that we impact, we want to help make sure that that happens. So, anyways, that's kind of the season we're in. It's just a growth season of just finding partners and growing.
And so we take all that, we put all together. What's the vision? Like, what do you see long term, Flourish Collective resembling?
Yeah, so I mean, I have this core belief that the things that we see in the communities we currently serve that limit somebody's ability to flourish exist in every major metro area. And I have this belief that every major metro area has incredible real estate professionals that care about the same things. We just haven't found each other yet. And so we have this just like dead set vision that we will impact these causes in every major metro area somehow, some way, eventually through great partners. And I have no demand on timeline. I mean, that could happen in a year, that could happen in 20 years. It happens through great people and great partnerships. And so it's something that you can't force. But when you know, like when we connect and we talk, it's like, we're going to do something awesome together. We're going to change something together. And as those come together, it's just super exciting. So our long-term dream, to summarize that, is that we'll have partners focusing on these causes in every city in the country. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Well, we are happy to be a part of it here in Florida, and to watch it continue to grow and expand. So we are one of those people that believe in those same things. So we're on the same page, bro.
For sure. Well, I love your heart. I love your passion for everybody you meet is intoxicating. And you're such a great example of the type of people that we come across through this journey. And we're just like, man, we've got to change the world together. Like, think of the hope that could come if we actually do something together. So I think, yeah, love having you as a friend, love having you as a partner. So I appreciate the questions.